Hi everyone in Facebook land. Welcome back to another Tennessee Bar Association legislative update. I'm the communications coordinator here, Catherine Harrigus, as always with Berkeley Schwartz, our Director of Government Affairs and Public Policy. And we have, I think, hopefully will be a brief update this week on our bills and the bills we're following. You guys already know what we're talking about here, so with no explanation necessary, we can just get right into it. This has been a crazy week, a great week, and we have good news, right?
Right. Our two adoption bills have been signed by the governor, which
Yay!
is very exciting.
We passed legislation, and you guys got to see how it goes from start to finish.
That's right. So we were thrilled about that. And then now I'm just going to run through our other bills and then some other bills that we're following. So our subject matter jurisdiction in the trial courts dealing with domestic relations matters, that passed the Senate, and it has also passed the House. So it's been sent to the speakers for signature. So that is on its way too, which is great.
It goes to the speakers and then
the governor.
And then it's done.
Yeah, ready to have that clear in the law. Probate bill. It passed Senate Judiciary Committee, and it's going to be considered by the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday of next week. That's right. And then our service process bills passed Senate Judiciary Committee, and passed the Senate, and then will be considered by the House Judiciary Committee on Wednesday. Adoption law bill signed by the governor. So those are our bills.
Yay!
I know. It
sounds like everything we're working on is actually really, really close to the end here.
It is. And I should go back to on the construction lien bill because we sort of decided to not move the bill that we were moving because another bill repealed the entire section of the code, which is what we wanted. And that bill has already passed the House and the Senate. So that's exciting stuff.
So we're close on that.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the other bills that are not TVA bills, but we are following and do have kind of a vested interest in.
Okay, so one of the bills also deals with contractors and subcontractors, and it provides that you have to pay it defines, what a subcontractor is, and basically says that you have to pay subcontractors even if the contractors are not paid. Okay. And so our construction law section, the builders, association, a lot of different groups were really concerned about the language of this bill. And because they could not agree on an amendment, they actually took it off notice for the entire year.
Okay.
And then
so what does that mean, taking it off notice?
So it can mean that it could come back, but the committee that took it off notice actually is closed for the year. So that's it, as far as we know, unless it comes up in another one. But we'll obviously be watching for that, but we do not expect it to come up again this year. But because we're in the beginning of a 2-year legislative session, it will definitely come back next year. So it's something we'll have to address, but at least for now, we have time now to work through it, which is what we asked for.
Great.
Yeah, and then there's another bill about increasing our homestead exemption and bankruptcy filings and others. That actually is still being negotiated. And so some of our members have been very involved in that, and they're still working on trying to figure out what's fair, and because I know that hasn't been increased in a really long time. But a lot of people think that this bill goes too far. So we're watching that one. Another one, another bill is, it requires equal division of guardian ad litem fees and adoptions.
And this is a family law one?
It is. And also, I'm not giving the bill numbers, but Catherine, I'll send them all to Catherine and she can link to it.
Yeah, as always, I will post them in the comments below if you're watching on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube after the fact, in the description below, it has a link to look at all of the bills.
Yeah. So our adoption law section was concerned about this bill because right now judges have discretion to decide whether or not they split the guardian ad litem fee between the adopting parents and the biological parents. And we worked with Representative Russell on an amendment, and basically it makes this language a rebuttable presumption. So the judge doesn't, he knows that if the facts, show that there shouldn't be a split in adoption fees or in guardian ad litem, then he doesn't have to do it. And we also removed the cap on the payment of the guardian ad litem attorney. Okay, next is the Tennessee Uniform Protected Series Act. That has been taken off notice for the year, so that our lawyers can work on that more closely with the Secretary of State. There's another bill that our real estate section drafted. It actually has a fiscal note, and it deals with the recordation tax on transfers of property. And it's going to decrease state revenue around $4 million. And so it's been sent to the Senate Finance Revenue Subcommittee and will be considered next week. So we're watching that closely. So we know, they support that bill. Another one is protection of people exercising their constitutional rights of expression on matters of public concern. So this is a case where if I go on Facebook, or if I'm just talking to somebody and I express my opinion, or that I've had a bad experience, like with a company or something, and then that company sues me, for slander or libel, then, so there have been cases of that happening by huge corporations, and then the person has to go through the entire litigation process where there's discovery and everything, and it's very expensive. And so people have drafted this bill so that immediately a motion will go before the judge, where the judge can decide if the actual libel or slander suit has merit, and if it does, it'll move through the regular process. But if it doesn't, they'll just shut it down, which will save money for just independent people who are trying to express their opinions, and so that bill has passed the Senate and just passed the House Judiciary Committee. Another bill that we're following very closely is a caption bill, which we talked about before, and a caption, and so what happened, it was Chairman Mike Bell's bill for Senate, chairs Senate Judiciary Committee, and he amended this bill to say that there will be a presumption of joint custody in all custody matters and shared parenting, and that sounds great, but our family law lawyers say that there are already factors under the law that a judge considers when he decides custody issues, and adding this language will confuse, it makes it unclear. People don't understand what the standard is. They are adamantly opposed to this language, and so it's supposed to be considered by the Children and Family Subcommittee next week, and so we're working really closely, and unfortunately have had a lot of trouble coming up with a way to clarify the language or include the language in a way that we think won't be confusing. So right now we're just trying to kill the bill and keep it from moving forward. So next is a bill that was in TBA today earlier this week about appointment of judicial officers, where right now it says the General Assembly has to confirm, but they've added an amendment that'll say that the House and Senate Judiciary Committees have to confirm any vacancy appointments.
And normally those are made by the governor's office.
Yes, exactly.
So it add an extra step. The governor couldn't just appoint those vacancies.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and so we have concerns about that and oppose that bill, as the governor does, because we think it could add a level of political, politicalness to it that we don't want, because they have to run for office eventually anyway. So, and then another one is grandparent visitation. That bill was sent to summer study, which means it's dead. Another one, nonpartisan elections for judicial offices in Shelby and Davidson County. That failed in committee. That's gone away. And then another bill that a lot of people were concerned about was going to require educational training and all these other things for conservatorships. And right now that's off notice, and we have not heard that that's being put back on notice anytime soon, which is a relief. And the last bill is that it addressed the LegalZoom and how, they wanted to just, Andy Farmer drafted it. He really just wanted to put some accountability on LegalZoom, bring some Tennessee lawyers so that people aren't paying for products that don't even cite Tennessee law. But unfortunately, We think that it was affecting some of the great, software and other options that our law firms have been doing to sort of help their clients and access to justice issues and forms like that. So we worked with him on language and just decided that we don't have enough time before the end of session. And so he is going to send that bill to summer study and then bring it up again next year. And hopefully we'll be able to have a compromise on the language.
Okay. So just generally speaking, where we're at, and also a couple of definitions I wanted to know. So earlier you mentioned some committees were closing.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, tells you where we're at in session. What exactly does that mean?
So, so right now the goal for adjournment for the General Assembly is May 3rd, which is an ambitious goal, but we support it, and it's really exciting. So they're putting deadlines right now on a lot of the committees to meet and saying, this is your last notice. Put all the bills on these, on calendar, because this is the last time we're meeting. So if a bill isn't considered by that committee, that's been, if a bill's been referred to a committee and it closes, it can be reopened subject to the chair, but that would have to be under pretty special circumstances. But that pretty much means that it's not moving for the year. So they've got to wrap up, especially the subcommittee meetings, to then wrap up the full committee meetings, then to go to the House and Senate floor and finance and pass the budget. And that's why it's you've got to start at the beginning to sort of get to the end, to the May 3rd deadline.
So you also mentioned things going to summer study. I know that means it's dead for the year.
Yeah.
It won't be looked at this session.
Right.
What does that mean to go to summer study? Does that really mean they're going to work on it, or does it mean that
it kind of depends on the bill? I mean, I know there are some bills that will absolutely be back next year. So really, there should be a summer study. People will meet to try to negotiate and compromise on language. Other bills being sent to summer study, it's just a death wish. It's done. So it kind of depends on the sponsor if they want to bring it back up again next year.
So generally speaking, we're on track. Getting close to the end. Anything else going on that we should know about?
I think for the most part, that's it. That's, we're feeling better, and that a lot of the bills we were really concerned about, we've either offered amendments or at least have decided, worked with the sponsor to take them off notice so they won't keep moving forward. So I think we feel like we're in pretty good shape.
It sounds like this has been a good session for the TBA.
I don't want to jinx it.
Oh, yeah, okay. We're knocking on wood here.
There's still time left, yeah. But, no, so far so good. So we've been working really hard, and, I think it's good.
All right. Well, guys, we told you we would keep this one quick, and we have done that, I believe. Next week, I will actually be out of town. It's my birthday, so I will not be here with you, but Berkeley will be broadcasting from somewhere with someone. So you definitely want to tune in next Thursday, as always, because it sounds like it's going to be a good one, and I kind of hate to miss it. But I won't hate it that much because I'll be in California.
You'll be having fun. So. We will miss you.
I will miss this. I love coming live every week. But we will be back next week, and we will hopefully be able to continue this through all through April. And let us know if there's anything else you want us to address before we wrap up at the end of session, because we want to make sure that your questions get answered. So I guess that'll be all today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.